Hello and welcome to Talk to Tiger. Today I have one of the most favorite people on the show. He has been my professor for about 2 years when I was doing my MBA, and more than that, he has been my mentor and my guru for more than a decade and a half. Today we are going to discuss an important topic about changing scenario in education in India. One of the things that most students are concerned right now is that colleges are not happening, job market is down, economy is going down. There are many things that have been thrown out as due to Corona. So what we are trying to understand in today's discussion is what is the future of education in India as well as across the world? What are the job opportunities? Is MBA or any postgraduate course relevant at all? So I have requested my professor, Dr. K.S. Srinivasa sir, to come give us an introduction about this and tell us about his opinion. One introduction to the topic is that he has spent a lot of time understanding how education has worked in India and how business schools have been changing their strategies over the past 1 decade. Sir, welcome to the show. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you.
Sir, if you can introduce about how you have been studying business schools and MBA related education in India, then we can go into the questions.
Yeah, basically, when we see Indian B schools, they are taking a different shape. One side we have IAMs, around 20-22 IAMs are there in India. The other side we have the universities which are working together with their batch size of 100 to 150 affiliated colleges. And the other side we have autonomous institutions which are approved by AICTE and functioning. So really it's a different ball game to understand how the business of business schools are happening. And ranking of a business school plays an important role here. And then government has taken a good control on the B school ranking nowadays. And through NIRF, it is really upgrading B schools from standard parameters. So with this kind of a backdrop, the B schools in India has to work. And then interesting point, which you have already identified, is the Corona factor. Now the Corona factor actually changed the game. That's why I want to inform you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, about MBA, is MBA relevant at all now? A decade ago or 15 years ago, MBA was very relevant.
Oh, okay. Is it relevant or not?
Yes.
That's the question, right? I take it as a challenging question also one day. The reason is that what is MBA? First, let us ask the question, and why it is operational for last 60 years in India. The first question is that why MBA is, what is MBA? MBA is an integrated training program for any student graduate to learn how industry works, what he or she has to gain, acquire the skills, and accordingly when he joins a company, he will be getting the benefit of having the training before joining the company. So definitely MBA is a must. How we do MBA, that is a different thing which we'll discuss in the next 5 minutes. But coming to the MBA, still it is there in spite of this Corona effect. Yeah.
Sir, you said how it is done is going to change. Can you explain in detail?
Okay. See, MBA with the intention of designing of MBA by IAMs in 1960s was different. And then the objective of PGDM they called is an additional training we have to give in the form of case studies, projects, internships, and we have to identify students with work experience. Accordingly, when we train them, they will be useful to the industry. Otherwise, they are industry ready. But what happened when the universities have started the same program or running the program all these days, it became like a degree. So that is a differentiating factor between a degree of MBA coming from universities and affiliated colleges and a PGDM as a because of this COVID-19 situation and post-COVID-19, definitely we have to go back to that kind of a system where an MBA graduate should have definitely some hands-on experience, and then the course that he is in the current situation should support him to learn the required aspects of industry, and then he will be getting a degree accordingly in the name of MBA, PGDM, and he will be joining the company very well. That's the first change. Okay.
Please continue, sir.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The second change that is required, the second change that is going to happen is that now that everybody, like you and me, how we are using a technology called Zoom, in the same manner, educational institutions are offering courses, teaching to the students for the last 2 to 3 months, only using these kind of technologies, which Government of India has initiated almost all 2 years back in the name of MOOCs, MOOC. This massive open online courses, they want to introduce it for a different purpose, keeping in mind like a slowly the student should be adjusting to the technology, and by 2025 2030 the Government of India objective is that higher education should be offered by means of digital technology only. But because of COVID-19, it has come forward now. Everybody is using the digital technology in the teaching. So COVID-19 has given a positive change in the education system, where the change that is expected in 2025 to 2030 is happening today. That is one point. The second important point is that in the system, since it was just came on your head, either the students or the teachers are not comfortable with the technology. For training given to the teachers or the students, how they have to understand and use the technology. So in the initial stages, you will find some kind of a misuse of the technology. Just like if you remember well, long back somebody has no mobile. Today they got mobile, suppose. Then the first level they will try to misuse it. Then slowly they will be learning it. Everybody today is using mobile in a more professional manner, I believe. In the same manner, these kind of digital platforms through MOOCs is going to become popular in the next few years. The third point which I want to, tell me something else.
No, sir. Please continue.
The third important point is that the foreign universities collaboration. In 1995 onwards, actually, Government of India has permitted some of the foreign countries, foreign universities to come to India and then operate their programs. But due to various other difficulties and challenges in the businesses, majority of the institutions have not got that kind of a collaboration. But today, because of the distance learning, but to the digital platform, automatically we know very well that the core is with the abroad foreign universities. Their curriculum is very good. Their teaching pedagogies were very good and different. And then their teaching styles and then the case studies are well known and popular. For example, Harvard Business School. So now today I am expecting that because of the COVID-19 effect, a lot of Indian B schools will be having a tie-up with foreign universities once again, and they use their material, study material. They use their recorded videos because they are all well-defined videos, and they use their case studies because they are the classical cases. With this, the Indian higher education, the focus to B schools, definitely will be changing towards a betterment with all these things. That is my expectation and prediction. Yeah.
So do you see any new courses coming up, like MBA in any particular specialization?
Okay. Yeah. Now the concept, before going to specialization, actually, what is the future situation of MBA as an education is, I want to say with my gut feel that at the time of admission to MBA institution, The MBA institutions will be having a tie-up with some of the companies, and they will be having a kind of a placement, but not direct placement. So the requirement of a company will be identified by the companies, and that will be given in the form of projects to the B schools. And B schools at the time of admission, they will be identifying the students. So the admission procedure differs compared to last times. B school student faculty or B schools will identify the students and categorize them based on their skills. And then once they are categorizing, they will supply these resources to various companies which they have a project requirement. That's the change will happen in the next 5 years. Companies are taking them as intern in the beginning only. And then what is going to happen automatically? The students will be working with the companies. In the next 1 or 2 years, I'm expecting that this kind of a social distancing will be there in the companies, as well as working from home will be there in the companies, as well as the institutions. Issues also differently. Students without campus or job, or they take the job taking.
Sir, do you see any new courses coming in because of this situation?
Yeah, because of this post-COVID-19 or during COVID-19 situation, I see that there will be some change in the MBA programs as far as the delivery is concerned, as well as the pedagogy is concerned. Change which I am expecting all experience in these schools and the coming up change that has happened already, technological transformation. The recruiting companies will give their requirement to the B schools in the form of small projects. And the B schools identifying these projects, what they do is at the time of MBA, they will be categorizing the students based on the skills that they have, based on their graduation qualification. And now the B schools will be handing over these projects to the students just like an internship or like a placement activity. In the beginning of the school admissions, that is the first change. You will be noticing it in the forthcoming years. Then the students will be assigning to these kind of projects under the mentorship of the faculty, and then the classes will be scheduled as per timetable differently, where the student will be having a free time to do the project work and as the digital technology is concerned. For example, Zoom. So the faculty, the students are working to learn the subjects through Zoom technology. Interns with companies, again using the same digital platform. And now the challenge for the administration of these schools is nothing but how to do the scheduling. And we know pretty well that a student who is finding difficulty in the normal days, but when the SAP internship is happening to him, automatically the company, if the company calls him by morning 7 o'clock, he will go to the office by 7 o'clock. And if there is a late night evening work is there, definitely he will be spending his time with the company without creeping on that. So that attitude automatically builds him to SAP internship. So I am expecting the same kind of a attitudinal change will happen in the student, because now one side he is having a project in his hand given by a company where he is looking for a job tomorrow. The other side, institution is giving admission to him along with the company activities. So the student will be more mature now to handle this kind of projects. And obviously I can expect that some classes will be like a 0 hours, morning 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, classes will be there for students. And 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock onwards, the project work which he has to do it with the support of the industry mentor, which was assigned, which is going to be assigned by the company itself, and the guidance will be given by faculty mentor assigned by the B schools. So this is the change in the system which I'm expecting it. In addition to that, some courses, as you asked me just now, maybe like a digital technology platforms knowledge on the digital marketing. A course like a Zoom, suppose, may be there because everybody may not be comfortable how to use the digital platforms. The third is that communication is an important role. What is than the regular technical courses. And the last one is that how to handle the projects in a given time, and also the knowledge of teamwork, because in the institution, the students have some groups and they'll be working as the teams, but practically company responsibility and the work given by company and handling it is different in teams compared to student doing teams. So
So that was a detailed explanation. So the last question we have for you today is two-part question. One is, how do you see education the next decade in India? So someone who has children who are going to school or college, what should they look at? Is there any upskill requirement than what is being taught right now?
It's an interesting question. The thing is that now the important aspect that a student has to understand is that this digital platform through MOOCs is going to become a kind of a compulsory. Without this, the course is not complete. Government of India wants to promote this. Almost the last 5 years, it is trying to see that it can happen. So keeping this factor in mind, because of COVID-19, everything, all these activities, whatever they plan, is coming ahead. That's it. So it's an advantage for the higher education. And why it is because the future, the higher education, if you see in India, we are expecting some foreign universities to go. When foreign universities are coming to India, because the foreigners, they will find some ground reality, ground problem, difficulties and challenges. Whereas when it is associated with university or institution, definitely I see that there is a lot of merit because their resources are good in terms of videos, in terms of case studies, in terms of their delivery, in terms of their projects that are given to the students. So with all these things, we are
Thank you, sir. That was a detailed explanation. So the last question we have for you is the two-part question. How do you see education in India in the next 1 decade? And as parents with children who are going to schools and colleges are thinking, is there any new skill or upskill that is required for the students?
Okay. Good question. It is basically next decade, 1 decade, if I take into consideration, a lot of changes will be there in higher education. The first and foremost thing I see that because of this kind of digital platform that we are offering all the courses and the programs, definitely is the time for foreign universities that are coming and having a tie-up with Indian universities or Indian higher education institutions. This is important change, and that gives more mileage in terms of branding also. And then students who are having some kind of a interest that I want to do this course from Harvard University, automatically the cost changes, price changes. When you go for the branded items, the price will be different. So that's a win-win situation between universities and Indian universities. I believe it refers to higher education is concerned. Second, these concepts are well defined and approved by across the world all these days. So when India is getting such kind of powerful tools in terms of the case studies, videos, or the what you can call question bank, otherwise they call assignments they give, because their assignments are live assignments, and the projects that they give, definitely our students will be benefited more. And in this kind of a situation where industry expects us to learn and do the projects as per their requirement, and the Indian universities are not well equipped now, so automatically with the support of universities, definitely they will be coming to that kind of a right expectation. And coming to the last change, when I speak about more about higher education, today if you see, because of COVID-19, even the classes for the students at a school level is happening through digital platform. So now you see, whatever I learned 20, 30 years back, when my student like you, suppose, is learned otherwise, just 5 years back, something like that. In a situation, the coming generation you call XYZ, the Z generation, they will be learning things today. The LKG student, first standard student is learning these kind of things. Understand one thing, there will be a conflict between the parent and the student always. Parent belongs to either X generation or Y generation, and the student belongs to Y or Z generation. So automatically conflict will be there as far as the learning is concerned, because the fear conflict will be there in the parents. But always I say that the new generations will definitely can learn technology from the courses easily compared to their parents. So can do by collecting more data, but how transfer is happening in India and at the last point, connecting this to one scenario happened few years back. That is my interesting topic called demonetization. Demonetization has happened actually with a good objective, whereas the government, any government cannot inform you directly that because of this reason I am doing the demonetization. But the objective of demonetization is nothing but bringing the technological change, revolution in Indian banking system and then transaction of the funds. And with the few days blocking the system and then pushing all of us towards the technology usage, the country has taken a different shape today. We are at par with developed countries now as per the technology currency is concerned. Whereas if I tell to you openly, please adjust yourself and transform towards the technological changes, no one will quickly adopt the system. So this is one important thing we have to learn. Forget about the black money coming from some other people, etc. That is not the objective of it. The objective is only technological transfer. Now, because of that, what is happening? The government of India can notice, can see wherever the transfer of fund is happening electronically. And this gives them a confidence that how much money flow is happening, how to control the economy now otherwise. And then keeping this in play to how to take care of the economy in future. So that's the main objective, and government of India succeeded in the processes. And back to our point is concerned, the higher education and India as a whole, as a country, education system in India has changed towards the digital platform age. And because of and everybody should be happy, and the future will be very bright according to me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for taking your time. I know you're really busy, but it was good talking to you. So, Srinivasa sir has given us the glimpse of how the system is going to be. It will be run by technology. There will be different job opportunities, different way we study things, but preparedness and getting ready for the industry has always been the primary focus of an MBA program. And with the new threat that we have with Corona, we can take a lot of advantage in upskilling ourselves, using the technology, reading case studies, collaboration with other institutes. Internet has brought everything out. For example, we can read case studies from Harvard, from London Business School, and the more you prepare, the better prepared you are to be in the industry. So, sir has a positive outlook for the entire decade. I think we'll have more challenging opportunities as well as a great chance for learning and moving forward. So, thank you, sir, for joining us. We'll catch you again in another episode to understand for other courses and placements related issues.
Thank you.
Thanks.